Hey, hi all. Thanks for joining today's webinar session. It's a continuation of the onboarding session which we had for last two sessions. So today is the third session for how to do mobile test automation at scale with Katalon. Myself, Vaibhav Jain, partner solution engineer at Katalon. So eh, I have 11 plus years of experience with software automation with different various tools. And from last 2 years, I'm working with the Katalon. And I found it like it's very easy to adopt the Katalon tool if you are like manual testers, or if you have experience also, you can easily explore the Katalon tool for your day-to-day testing works. Today with me, I have Akos, AI Akos, as our guest speaker, who will walk through for the mobile test automation, how we can easily achieve with the help of Katalon. Hey, hi Akos. Can we have your quick intro?
Yeah, thank you, Iva. Hello, everyone. I'm Ako Sabo, and I'm a QA lead at Alasdeo. Alasdeo is an IT and outsourcing IT company, and we are providing QA services under the brand We Do QA. Now, I'm in the IT industry for more than 6 years now, and during this time, I worked on multiple projects, manual and automated projects as well, and been working with a group of highly skilled QA engineers, and currently I'm leading a certified team of Katalon experts, and we are trying to provide the best services as we can.
Oh, thank you, Akos, for your quick intro. So let's start our today's session. So let's go through the today's agenda, what we are going to cover. So today we are going to start with the Katalon Studio overview to walk through the Katalon platform overview. And second, going forward, we're going to see how we can do the mobile testing setup, what are things, what are softwares are prerequisites are required to do the mobile automation using Katalon. Then we will have the mobile automation demo from Ecos. He will walk through us how we can automate different kind of mobile automation with the help of Katalon. And going forward, he will give us the helpful feature tips for the mobile test automation, what are useful tips he will share. And at the end, we'll have the pool session for the today's session. If you like, please share your feedbacks. And after that, we'll have the Q&A session. If you have any doubt, any question, anytime, you can put on your our Q&A session. So let's quickly start with our today's session with the Katalon Studio overview. Yeah. Katalon platform overview. As I have mentioned in our previous call also, Katalon platform have three main components. First is Katalon Studio, which will use for the test generation. So with the help of Katalon Studio, we can automate all kind of application, whether it's a web, mobile, desktop, or API. And we can easily integrate our Katalon Studio with different popular CI/CD tools, whether it's a Git, Docker, or GitHub, and Jenkins. We can easily integrate. And second component, we have the test ops, which is nothing but our central repository where we can manage all our QA activity, where we can set plan our release. We can integrate our test script. We can integrate our test script with the releases. We can schedule our test runs, and we can get the detailed report at the end of the execution, where we can do the detailed analysis of the execution. If our test script got failed, why it got failed, what is the reason, how we can we'll get the detailed analysis of the root cause. So it will save lots of time to do the maintenance of this script. Next, we have for the test execution, we have the Katalon runtime engine and test cloud. Katalon runtime engine we can use to do the execution over the local on the command line. And if you want to do the cross-browser, cross-device testing over the different browser, different OS, and different devices for the mobile, you can easily achieve with the help of the test cloud. And we can do the easily integration with the different tool, AWS. We can do we can use the self-healing features of the Katalon, which will help us to reduce the script maintenance time. We can do the low-code script generation with the help of Katalon, and we can easily do the remote execution over the different devices and different platforms. So next, we will see how we can achieve the end-to-end like script testing with the help of Katalon Studio. So as I have said, with the help of Katalon Studio, we can do the test case generation, which we can easily do the integration over the different repositories like GitHub, GitLab, Docker. So we can do over integration with that, and we can do the execution over the test runtime engine, or we can do over the cloud. And with the help of Katalon, we can easily do the test script generation, test case design, and we can do the cross platform execution. And this we can easily achieve with the help of low code, scriptless automation with the enterprise features. And we can easily access all the Katalon plugins, which is required to work with the third party tools. So we have the lots of inbuilt plugin available in the Katalon store, which we can directly use, and we can directly do the automation with the help of these plugins. So with the help of Katalon, we can automate all the kind of application. We can do the data-driven testing, and we can do the all kind of application testing with the help of Katalon with the low-code script maintenance. So next, we are going to see how we can do the mobile automation setup. So first, we are going to start with the iOS setup. So to start with the iOS mobile automation, what all software requires? So if you are working with the Mac machine, so you need to directly, you can start install the Homebrew. With the help of Homebrew, you can install Node.js, and you can do the APM installation. And if you want to directly do this all software installation, you can directly go to Katalon project set, Katalon helps, and there you can install all this software with just one click. And to work with the iOS application, we need Xcode. Without Xcode, we can't work with the mobile automation for iOS applications. So if you're working with Mac machine, you can directly install the Xcode. And if you're working in the Windows machine, you need a Mac VM to work on the iOS mobile automation. And once we have installed all this software, we can do the iOS device or simulator configuration. So this all software are required for the iOS mobile automation. Next, we are going to see what all things are required for Android automation. So for Android automation, first we need Android Studio, which is nothing but whether you want to connect with the real device or simulator. For that, we need the Android Studio. And we can directly install the Node.js in the Mac OS or like Windows machine. And with the help of Node.js, we can install the APM. And here we have given the command also, which is required for the APM installation. Once that is done, we can do the Android device setups. So for that, we can go to Android device. We can enable the developer settings, and we can connect with device with the laptop. Whether it's a Mac OS or Windows, we can directly connect and validate whether it's connected or not. Once that is connected, we can start automating our Android applications. So this is very simple setup is required for the mobile automation, whether it's iOS or Android. Minimal software required. So, and this is one-time activity. So once this is done, you can automate any kind of application, whether it's Android or iOS, we can easily achieve. So now let's see how we can easily do the mobile automation. So Akos will walk through us the demo for the same. So I'll hand over to Akos.
As Viber showcased us how we can set up our environments for mobile testing, now I'm going to introduce to you the Katalon Studio IDE. First of all, we're going to create a new project. We're going to name it webinar and select the type of it, mobile. As you can see here, Katalon Studio does provide some sample projects, which I highly suggest to check out. They contain some test cases, test suites, and also you can try out different options in the software. Let's go. Okay. Now, as our project is set up, I also have an emulator started, which is going to help me demonstrate some features. When you start a new project, you will get the prompt to connect to Katalon's desktops. Katalon desktops is a test orchestration software, an online solution, which is a great way to showcase test results and also schedule some test runs. I'm going to use this sample project I already have set up. And now, on the left side, we have our test explorer, our project structure, where we have the test cases, object repository, test suites. These three folders are our main folders, and we're going to use those today. Let's create our first test case. Recorded test case. And now we're going to show how the Katalon Studio recorder works. You can find the recorder here. Let's click on it. As you can see, you have two options, Android devices and iOS devices. Now, I am a Windows machine and have Android testing set up. However, if you have a macOS device, you can easily set up based on the previous instructions, an iOS device for testing. Started the recorder. On the left side, at the configuration section, you're going to be prompted to select the device that you want to use for testing. And you're going to be provided with the options to select an application file for testing or an application ID. For today's purpose, I'm going to use an application file, sorry, and going to start the recorder. When I start the recorder, the Appium server, which I already have set up on my device, is going to be started. It's going to install the UI Automator driver on the device, and also it's going to start the application for us, which I selected. On the left side, you have the recorded action section. At the middle, you have the available actions and the objects that Katalon Studio recognized for us, and on which we can complete our actions. And on the right side, we have the device view, which is the mirrored image of our device. The benefits of the recorder is that we can complete our tests by clicking and selecting the actions that we want to complete, and the recorder will save our actions, and later on we can replay those and use those as test cases. Let's get started with clicking on the app option. When you click on the app option, the option will be highlighted. Also, we have a highlighted object that we can use for action. And we're going to select an action on the selected object. Let's go with tap. When the command is executing, we're going to get a new screen after the action. Our action also will be recorded here at the recorded actions. And if we check our captured object section, we're going to have the app option displayed as well. These objects will be saved at the end of our testing. Let's go back to the recorded actions. Let's select another one. Let's say menu, tap. As you can see here, we went to the next screen, And at the available actions, you have some additional options beside that tap and hold swipe. There are some generic actions, for example, hiding the keyboard, pressing back to navigate back one screen, take a screenshot, switch to web view, or switch to native. These two options are important to us when we are testing hybrid applications. And also we have the switch to landscape or portrait mode. Let's go back. Select, for example, launcher shortcut, tap on it. We get a text, and now we need to verify something. To verify something, we right-click on the object that we want to interact with and select the verification that we would like to. For example, we're going to select verify element text, and our verification is added to the steps. Now we have a valid test case. And as you can see here, we have two additional wait options and the capture object option. When we select capture object, the object will be captured under the capture object tab. However, no additional steps will be recorded. As you can see, nothing changed here. We have our steps. Let's save the script. Let's use the object repository. We need to save our object somewhere. Recorded test case. I'm going to use this folder. Now join test steps. Let's check out what happened. Okay, the problem is that we didn't select the test case that we want to save our steps to. Let's override test case. Select the one that we created. Okay. And now we have our steps recorded, saved to the test case that we previously created. And now we can run that. Let's go. Sorry. When you hit play, you're going to be started in WebDriver. You're going to start the WebDriver, Chrome driver by default. So we need to change it to Android, select the device that we want to test. And as you can see in the job progress section, we have the test case running. Below it, at the log viewer, we see the actions that are currently taken. Currently, the Appium server is started. Let's get our emulator over so we can see what is happening. The server is started, the application was installed, and the application was started. Let's check the steps that are taken. All right, so far everything went correct, and our test case failed. Let's check out why. We get a null point exception. Let's check. Let's move this over. And yeah, as we can see here, at step 6, we want to verify an element that has an input text, the long one that we selected for verifying. However, we don't have the object for which we want to verify it. That means that we need to add this or it won't work. To do this, we're going to use the spy tool. The spy can be found here. When we start it, you get a similar UI as you got for the recorder. We're going to select the application file that we want to install on the device and start the testing on. Starting the spy. The spy tool helps us capture object and use those without recording different steps or adding more steps to our test cases. Now, when our application is started, we see here the last session that we previously used, our test case used. We're going to click on the object that we want to verify. It's highlighted. Let's check the checkbox next to it. It's going to be captured at the captured object section, and we're going to get some object properties for it. Object name, we most probably need to let's make it a bit shorter, like that. Now, what is a locator strategy? When we want to interact with an object, we need to find it somehow in the application. To find it, we need a locator. Locators, we can use locators with different strategies. For example, in this moment, the attributes option is set based on the attributes. The SPY selects us the locator based on which we can find this element. If you click on the highlight button, you're going to get, it's going to check does the locator works correctly, or what can be found based on that locator. We want to get a unique locator, which means that we're going to find one element when we try the locator, and also we're going to get fast and robust locators. So our test steps are also robust. Now, 74 milliseconds is good. We have additional options here. Maybe you heard about XPath. When we generate it, we're going to get a new locator here. Let's go with accessibility, generate, highlight. Okay, it looks like accessibility ID is the fastest. Now, generally speaking, we like to use accessibility IDs because they're fast and they're easy to locate. So when possible, speak with your developer and make sure that you have accessibility options enabled. Now we're going to add the object to the folder and close the recorder, or sorry, the SPY. Now we have the object. We're going to put it to the step that require it. And now if we run our tests, it's going to pass, most probably. Let's wait for a test to start. You can also check out the console section. Console also displays all the information in a much more detailed way if you're familiar with the console. But however, for now, let's stick to the log viewer as it's easier for starting out with the testing. Our test is completed. The application was closed and the test passed. Now let's look at the manual and scripting mode. Let's create a test case, manual, script. We're going to create a new test case. And first, let's check out the manual view. By default, we are in manual view. You have here the option add. When you click on it, you're going to get a list of keywords available to you. Now, Katalon has already set up keywords for web testing, desktop testing, and also mobile testing. We're going to select mobile keywords. And here, you're going to get all the available keywords, which are already built in the IDE. Let's start with start the application. Start the application. We don't need any object to start it. However, we need an input, and our input will be the app file. You can find the app on our device. Let's go here. Where is it? Documents, downloads. mobile sample app. Here's our application. We're going to copy that, paste it here, and we need to add the name of the application now. And the name of the application, let's copy that as well. That APK. Close this. Okay. Now we started our application, and if we go to the script mode, we can see here that the steps that we added in manual mode also appears in the script view as well. In script mode, you can add your own code, you can add your own steps, also implement some additional features, import additional packages, etc. As we have our application started, let's add some additional steps. Mobile, and let's go with tap. We're going to select tap, and as tap, the tap method requires an object, and also it has a wait built in. For now, let's use a previously recorded object. We're going to delete this as we don't need it, and add the, let's say, app object. Let's go with another tab. Also, let's add the shortcut. And at the end, let's verify. Verify element text. Let's see what it requires. It requires a test object and a string that contains the expected text. Okay, let's add here the object that we have, and let's add the text that we want to verify. First, let's go with test. Now I'm going to show you failure handling in Katalon Studio. There is an option available for us to set, do we want to fail the test case or stop the execution of test cases if the test fails, or do we want to continue with it? Failure handling dot, and let's see, we can continue on failure. We can set that it would be optional and stop on failure. We're going to go with the continue on failure. That's right. Let's continue with tapping back. Press back. Let's go with another one. Let's go with tap. We're going to return to the same screen again, as we already have these objects recorded for us, and it will be faster. And we now going to mobile verify element text. Let's add the object. Bear with me, I'm almost finished with the test case. Let's see in our previous test case what was the text. So we can copy that and make our test case pass. We didn't add. And let's add mobile dot close application. And we are done. Our test should be working correctly. Let's see what's happening here. Oh, it added another one. Let's delete that. This one. Okay, now it should work. Let's start Android. Okay. And let's see what happens. Based on this, we're going to go and open the application, go to the app option, tap on the launcher shortcut, and we're going to try to verify, do we have the text test displayed on our application? And it shouldn't be. Now, the test case will not fail. It's going to continue. It's going to press back again on the launch application and check our text that we previously copied from the other test case and close the application at the end. And if we check what happened, our application did go from step 1 to step 8, and however, it failed, and it failed because our step 4, and it couldn't find the text test. Now, as we have our test cases, we're going to talk about the project structure. We recommend that you organize your test cases into folders, give them recognizable names. Make sure that based on your test case titles, you can identify what is your test case about, and also organize them into folders based on features or based on sections that they are verifying the expected behaviors. The object repository should follow a page object model. If you read about automated testing before, you should hear about the page object model, and Katalon Studio does provide some kind of model as well, and it follows it. However, we recommend that you always check your objects, double check those, save those into folders, organize them based on screens, and also make sure that they are unique and robust. We cannot say it enough that they should be unique and robust, because most of the time objects are the main cause of flaky tests. Now, the next step is to organize our test cases when we are running those. And now we're going to create some test suits. Let's go like this, test suite 1 and test suite 2. Why are test suites important to us? We can organize our test runs based on test suites. Also, when you are running test suites, the results are uploaded to test ops. That way you can share your results with your team. Okay. And let's add some tests to the other one as well. Save it, save it. Another benefit of test suites is that you can create test suite collections. In test suite collections, you can by test suite define on which device or where do you want to run those tests. Currently, I can set up that I'm running the first test suite on Android devices, the second one on iOS devices. Also, you can set some execution modes, for example, sequential, one test suite after another, and in parallel, when you can set how many instances do you want to use, let's say 2. That way, the 2 test suites are running parallel, one on Android device, the other one on an iOS device. And lastly, There are some profile options where you can set up some variables, global variables, which you can use while you are running these test suits, maybe some credentials or access details, etc. And I would point out another thing is the desired capabilities. If you go to the project settings, you're going to have here desired capabilities section available to you. Let's add a device. And now why I'm showing this to you. Desired capabilities are a set of parameters that we can use to start an Appium session. The information containing in this set of description allows us to define what kind of session we want to start. For example, what operating system we want to use, what device we want to use. And additionally, we can decide which driver we want to use. For example, if you are not planning to test a native application, however, you have a Flutter application, you can define the Flutter driver to be used when starting the Appium server and installing driver to the on the application. That way you can access the Flutter application and start your recording and scripting.
Hey, thank you, Akos. Thanks for the quick demo on the mobile automation. So let's quickly go through the highlight of the features. What all mobile testing features highlight do we have? Akos, can you walk through us?
Yeah, sure. So in this webinar, we checked out how we can start out with mobile testing on Katalon Studio, how we can use a mobile recorder to record our steps and generate the test cases for us without coding, without need any coding knowledge. Also, we checked out the spy tool. We detected some objects at different locator strategies and use those in a manual view or in a script view. Checked out the option how we can handle different failures. We check that we can decide do we want to continue with the test case even if some of the steps failed. This can be useful, for example, in long big end-to-end tests where you might run into situations where other verifications might cause not finishing a complete test. And also checked out how we can make or create a maintainable project using suits and collections, and how we can leverage the options that collections give us, providing different profiles, different run properties for our test runs.
Yeah, thank you, Akos. Thanks for the features highlight. So, yeah, can we go next? Yeah, so Q&A session. So, like we have, I have tried to answer some of the question, but we have like some of the question which is still pending. So yeah, do we have like, let me take some of the question here over the call. So do we have to use an external emulator, or is there one included in the Katalon software? So yeah, for Android devices, we need to either use the real devices, or you need to configure your simulator over the Android Studio. And for iOS one, we have the like, as soon as you will install the Xcode, you will get some of the default like versions of the iOS devices which you can use for the iOS automation that we have. For Android one, you need to use the Android Studio and you need to do the simulator configuration. Okay, so that is done. So, across next question we have, why Katalon does not have a multi-device platform on configuration simulator independently from Xcode or Visual Studio? And why Katalon does not have a multi-device platform on configurable simulator? Do you understand this question?
I hope so. Katalon is based on Appium, so as if you have different handling regarding Appium for Android and iOS, the same things are appearing in while you are using Katalon Studio as well. So, for example, for iOS, you are going to run in the same issues or the same hardship, for example, installing the driver, building the web driver, building the driver for your device, installing that on the device, and also connecting to it. I hope I answered the question.
Yeah, of course, I think so. Okay, so Kareem, if you are satisfied with the answer, or please let us know if we are not able to, like, if you still have some doubts. Okay, for Safa, she's having a question like the object identifier, is it dependent on the APK or the application file? If it's changed for experience, if we have a new build, will this test object still be valid or not? I don't think so. Like object identifier are based on the APK file or application file. What do you say, Akos?
Yeah, it shouldn't be dependent. I mean, you can select different application files to start the to install on the device and also start the recorder or the spy. However, the spy and the recorder also are using the running application for finding the object that you are going to interact with. So I would say that it is not dependent on it.
Yeah, it's not completely dependent. Maybe once our application will get changed or get updated, some of the objects maybe will get changed, but not completely. So that's the possibility. Okay. So are there plans to run with Chrome OS or Chromebooks? I'm not sure for this one. Okay. It is possible to take this structure of test cases from Jira or X-ray structure. So, yeah, it is. I will say that it is possible because as I know that as of now, Katalon mainly we are using Jira and X-ray for the defect integration, not for any test case structure design or something. So I don't think so. As of now, it is possible, but maybe in future we will have this option be enabled. Okay. Can we able to connect pCloudy or browser stack devices from? Yes, we can do that. So if you want to do that, we can easily do the integration with the pCloudy or browser stack. So you just go and create the configuration over the pCloudy and you can add those desired capabilities over the Katalon Studio and you can do that. So we can do that. It is possible with the Chrome OS. Yes, I think it is possible with the, yeah, we can do that with the, if I'm not wrong, if you are talking about the native OS, I'm not sure if it is relevant to that. Okay, how to print elements under a list in mobile app? Because did you try that? How to print elements under a list in mobile app?
Yeah, so let me get back to the previous question as well.
Okay, sure.
For the Chrome OS, it's let's go with this. If you can make Appium work with Chrome OS, you can work it with Katalon Studio. That would be my answer to that. And for the next question, print elements under the under this mobile app. I would need some more information for that one to answer.
So Archana, what you're trying to what you're trying to print, like under you told that print elements under a list in mobile app. So can you give more details on that? So, and Frank, I hope you are satisfied with the answer which Akos has given. So, okay. So Preeti, as you asked, after 6 months, can I use Katalon Studio with free plan? No, you can't use that because once you have registered with your one ID, it will get registered in Katalon server. So you're if you have created any project or something, maybe your data will get stored for the 6 months of the rotation, and after that it will get deleted from the data. So you can't use again the with the same ID. Okay, so is there any other question or any other doubt? So when will live authoring be available? So I'm not sure for this when it will be, but it will be available. Like I will say that very soon.
We have also a question, can we run practical test cases? And for example, mark those as smoke test runs. The easiest way is to use the test suites. It's an also way to organize your test cases. Also, if you have, for example, different sections that you already organized in test suites, and it's going to be messy. For example, to pick a few for smoke test run, I would suggest to create a collection, and based on your, and if you create a collection, then you will have the option to add different execution settings for that.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Akos. Okay, Karim. How to execute my test or my QA pipelines only on Katalon, not in integrated platform that costs many investments, sometimes more expensive than Katalon. I'm talking here about the Katalon partners like Coviton or browser stacks. So why Katalon does not have multi-devices platform or configuration simulator where we can execute our that's the question and things. Okay. So yeah, Karim. So if you're talking about if you want to do the execution over the different devices, we can do with the help of Coviton or browser stack, if I'm not wrong. We have the test cloud. In test cloud, we have the lots of mobile devices available where we can do the execution. So if I have understood your question correctly, so it's not always you need to go with the third party where you need to pay the extra. But for the test cloud also, we have the different pricing plans, so that you need to go if you want to do over the different cross device testing using the test cloud. So yes, Preeti, if you have integrated your Katalon with the GitHub and you have all the projects are saved in the GitHub, so you can use that GitHub projects later also. So yes, you can use that. So yeah, I think we have answered all the questions. So yeah, so can we go with the next session? So yeah. So as if you still have any doubt or any question related to any of the Katalon for mobile automation, web automation, you can always reach out to our Katalon forum thread. There you will get the lots of ongoing discussion, or if you have any technical question or doubt, you can also start your discussion, and our Katalon support team members will help you with the technical answers as soon as possible. And as I have said that it's starting only, please give us the feedback how you like today's session. Please share your posts with the if you like the session, what you liked and how. So we will need your feedback so we can plan more onboarding session like this for the newcomers or for the Katalon users. So it will be helpful for us. And if you want to know about the future upcoming webinar, you can register to this upcoming webinar link where you will get the details of the upcoming webinars, whether it's onboarding one or if you are trying to do the integration with different third-party tools. So you will get all those details in the upcoming webinars. Okay, if possible. Yeah. So can we put the link over the chat here for the future webinars so people can take the, can someone help on this? Sure, we can do that. Yeah, we can do that. So here is the link for the future webinars where you can register and get the details for the future webinars. Okay, so yeah, so this is for the pool section, and thank you for joining today's session. Today's session is very interactive. I like the today's session. This is my third session, Ecos, and it was very interactive. Like we have lots of questions and we are able to answer, and I am seeing the positive response from the audience also. Thanks for the lovely audience. Thanks for joining today's session. Ecos, if you want to add anything, you can.
No, thank you, Iva. It was a pleasure being here. It was my first time in a webinar, so I quite enjoyed it, and looking forward to other opportunities and also helping others with the journey when starting out in automated testing.
Yeah, sure, Ekos. I will also like looking forward to work with you again. So thank you for joining today's webinar session. It was awesome. Thank you and have a nice day.